ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith? Then grab your Bible and let's get started. Shabbat Shalom and welcome back to the Sabbath day teaching on today. So this is the last day of Feast of Tabernacles, and tonight at sunset will begin the 8th day celebration. So I'm encourage you to join me tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. for the teaching for the 8th day. So this again has been a very busy 7th biblical month of all the annual feasts. This is like our third double Sabbath. We have a double Sabbath on the 17th. We had double Sabbath on the 1st of October. And now we have it on the 8th of October. Again, the 7th biblical month is a very busy time. But today we are in the book of Judges. So let's get to the book of Judges. We are in chapter 17. Now, this is a short chapter, which means I will not be before you long. However, Judges 17 is very insightful. It gives us a little bit information, more details about what the people of Yehovah were doing because they were not following his ways. They were not following the ways of Yehovah. And how do we know they were not following the ways of Yehovah? Because they were under oppression of many different people who wanted to destroy them. And these are the people that they were supposed to destroy. And they did not remove them out of the land according to the will of Yehovah. And they caused a snare, and now they are oppressing them. 17 give us, again, a little bit more details on what the people were doing when it says they were doing whatever right in their own eyes. Welcome to Reconcile the Kingdom, where we're working towards growing in harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson. I greatly appreciate every last one of you who has been able to join me on this live premiere and those who will be able to join me on the replay. Everyone is greatly appreciated. I want to take your time out and I want to say welcome if this is your first time visiting me. If this is your fifth time visiting me, welcome. 20th, 50th, or even your 400th time visiting me. I most definitely welcome all who take the time out and allow me to be before them. You know, we have to appreciate those little things. But I also hope that you have the time to check out the YouTube channel because there's a website not up at this moment, but the YouTube channel, which has the foundational 5 picks that you can take a look at so you can understand what this ministry is about. So if you take the time to take a look at that, now I'm hoping that you're ready to search the scriptures along with me. Join this family who does not mind searching the scripture, does not mind challenging religious system teachings that we have been under for hundreds of years. A family that is open to becoming a lifetime student of the Bible, that's ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith because you have to be ready for this. And when you are ready, it is easy to join this family by hitting that subscribe button below. Don't forget the bell because the bell lets you know when I am live, any announcement or any updates that will be coming from this ministry. And of course, that is not the only way that you can support this ministry. Making comments in the comment box. Send me an emoji that you stop by doing a live premiere. Send me an emoji that you stop by even doing the replay. Given those respectful comments are important to me because it lets me know what you need, what you like, and what you don't like. Share the link when you're live and doing the replay because my motto is if you're learning something, someone else can learn something. Give me a thumbs up for the biblical teaching that you do enjoy. And the thumbs up supports the ministry because it allows YouTube know they need to send the ministry out to more people. That is an easy way to support the ministry. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, and YouTube Podcast for those who have YouTube as a membership. Shop in the online digital shop. As you know, I have developed the individual Bible companion and the workbook Bible companion geared for the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith to explore that and to cause you to go deeper in your studies. All of this, the digital online shop is on sale, everything for 50% off. And now we're in on October the 17th. Um, I don't know what time, but it will end on the 17th. So you have time to shop outside of the Sabbath days to get everything that you need, especially the book of Exodus, which we'll be going into in November, and also the book of Ruth. That time will be here before you know it. And so you want to catch it while it's on sale. Now, we do have the larger books like Psalms, Isaiah, which is one of the most largest books of the Bible. So those workbooks are available, and it's good to take advantage of the 50% off and get that on sale so you can go through your studies. Donate in the love jar. Donating in the love jar is you partnership with me, bringing in the donations and partner with me so that I can focus on growing the ministry. There's so many things that we will discuss at the year end. I will love for your support with, and we can all worry about that at the year end. But donating in the love jar is that partnership to grow in the ministry. We know that there needs to be funds coming in to grow the ministry because we do know, I'm hoping you understand that the Messiah also had a treasure. So this most definitely something that is a part of ministry, no matter where you are or where you're going. So that is what donating and love jar. Everything that we spoke about today on different ways to support the ministry, you can find in the description box. And you can take a look at that anytime that you need to, especially after the live premiere and during the replay. So, those are the many different ways that you can support the ministry. Now, I don't want you to forget, at the end of today's teachings, you're able to ask questions about the teaching that's presented to you. I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to make comments and share, of course, the link. I will address all questions at the end of the teaching if there is some. So I most definitely encourage that. So we usually begin our teachings by going over the previous chapter or the previous lesson from the previous week. So last week we was in Judges chapter 16. So I'm going to pull up my sheet that I'm going to share with you. And this is from the workbook itself. So we was in Judges chapter 16. Judges chapter 16, it was to me 2 points out of there. Samson was blinded by love, and Samson was unable at first to recognize where his strength come from. So Samson is one of the judges that struggle with the lust of his eyes. And he went for the women outside of his culture. So, what does that mean? So, Samson was from the tribe of Dan. So, technically, he is supposed to marry or marry someone from the tribe of Dan. So, he didn't even go into the tribe of Dan, and he did not even go among the children of Israel. He went outside to the women of the Philistines, not knowing that his left his eyes was being used by Yehovah. His weakness actually was being used by Yehovah because he fallen in love with Delilah. Now, the Bible never said that Delilah was in love with Samson. It was that he fell in love with this young woman from the valley of Sorek, which is not the same person that's from Gaza, the harlot. Now, Delilah was used by Philistines, and they paid her what 1,100 pieces of silver to entice Samson to tell his secret about his strength. Again, Delilah was not in love with him, so she was willing to do this. Samson was so in love with her that he was not able to see that she was playing him. No matter what, She was able to wear him down, and he shared with her what he thought was his strength. And of course, um, he said to her that it was because of the Nazarite vow that he had this strength. So which brings me to my insight that he was under the impression that this strength came from that vow. But this is the spirit of Yehovah that he got his strength from. It is the spirit of strength, where some Bible might say the strength, the spirit of might. So when he spoke about this Nazareth vows where he got his strength, it's the same time that he lost the spirit of Jehovah. And they cut his hair, he lost his eyes, his hair, and he ended up in custody of the Philistines. So at the end, he lost his life. But at the end, he also understood that his strength came from Jehovah. Because remember, his hair already grown back. And he asked for the spirit of strength to return to revenge the loss of his eyes by the Philistines. So, this is all the key points and the insight and everything that I have gathered from Judges chapter 16. I had no questions. And of course, the cross reference is Isaiah 11, verse 2 to 3, where I have all the seven spirits of Yehovah. And you also find it in Revelation. The word study was Dagon, the fish god, is where the Philistines had served. So you'll read about Dagon again. It's important to understand the Torah as you go through the book of Judges. I know a lot of people try to stay away from that because all the confusion and misunderstanding of things, but this is the very reason why I decided to go live so you can ask questions and go verse by verse. It's important to go verse by verse because it's the little details that we end up missing. So we are in Judges chapter 17. So make sure you have your Bible before you and all the writing utensils that you need. And make sure when you are studying on your own that you are using a map. That is important to your studies. So, Judges chapter 17, we are going to understand the contents as it is written, and we are going to take a look if there's any other connections, any other writings, any other letters that we need to bring in to understand Judges chapter 17. Again, make sure you study your own, you use your Strongs, your Bible dictionary, Bible Hub, Logos, Gateway, whatever you need to help you understand Judges chapter 17. I do want to add this plug in for Judges chapter 17 as we get into it, because I have a tendency, and it's because I'm studying for Judges chapter 17 and Judges chapter 18 to connect to Judges chapter 1, verse 34. So let me read that so we can have that set so that you can determine if Judges 17 and 18 connects to Judges chapter 1 and verse 34 on your own. So Judges 134 says, the Amorites forced the Danites into the hill country and did not allow them to come down to the plain. So this foundation of Judges chapter 134 is important because we're going to run into all of this information, especially next week in Judges chapter 18. So, Judges chapter 17, we're going to jump right into it. And there was a man of Mount Ephraim, or Ephraim for some, whose name was Micah. And he said unto his mother, the 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from thee, about which thou cursedest and speakest of also in my ears, behold, the silver is with me, and I took it. And the mother said, blessed be thou, Yehovah, my son. And when he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother said, I have wholly dedicated the silver unto Jehovah my hand of for my son to make a graven image and a molten image. Now therefore I will restore it unto thee. All I can say is, wow. Where do I begin with these first three verses? And I know many people don't understand what's going on, so we're going to break it down. So we have a adult man who stolen 1,100 pieces of silver from his mother. His mother pronounced a curse. Now she pronounced this curse to those who stole it, but she spoke it loud enough, or maybe towards him. Maybe she figured out that he stole it and he heard it and he decided to return that 1,100 pieces of silver. The mother was so happy, she even praised Yehovah, and everything was going right until she decided to dedicate the silver unto Yehovah by making a graven and molten image. I'm hoping everyone is seeing what's wrong in this specific area. So this gives you a great example of how the people of Jehovah at that time were mixing things and thinking that it's okay. And we still find that today. The Torah is very specific of explaining that you are not to make for yourself any idol of any form of anything in the heavens above, the earth below, or the waters beneath. Now, this may be challenging for people to hear because I know many people love God, but many people have these little images of things that are created from images of heaven above, like angels, things of earth below, like animals, and things that's waters beneath, like the fish. And they little images of things that you're not supposed to have in your home. So I know that might be hard for people to hear, but it's true. And you'll find that in Exodus 20 and 4. Search it out for yourself. You're not to make any gods alongside him. You're not to make yourself gods of silver or gold. Exodus 20 and 23. And so you would say, oh, the little angel, the little twinklets that I have, they're not made of gold or silver, but you're not to make no molten gods for yourselves. Exodus 34 and 17. I know it's hard to hear, it's hard to grasp, it's hard to understand, but this is a no-no. So here the woman, the mother, is speaking of Jehovah and making idols alongside. This is where a lot of people get themselves caught up. Verse 4. Yet he restored the money unto his mother. So he decided, okay, I need to give this money back to my mother. And the mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image. And they were in the house of Micah. And the man of Micah had a house of gods. And he made an ephod and a teraphim and consecrated one of his sons who became his priest. In those days, there was no king in Israel, but every man did what which was right in their own eyes. Again, here we go. In those days, there was no king in Israel. There's no human king. If you can remember, Yehovah is the king. He resides at the tabernacle. His throne is there. Where is the tabernacle in this time in the book of Judges? It's in Shiloh or Shiloh for some people. So he is there, but there's no human king watching over them. So they decide to do what's right in their own eyes. So she decided not to dedicate the 1100 that was stolen, but instead 200 of our 1100 silvers was given to the silversmiths. That's the word founder. You need to look that up in your um, Strongs. So this silversmith created the graven and molten image that she run the money for. Now, in Micah's house, where the 1100 was stolen from, he has a house that is that has different gods in it. He has the priestly garment in it, so that's that ephod that you read about, and he have all these little idols. And then he made his son a priest. So truly everything that Micah is doing, he think is right in his own eyes. Anyone who think what he's doing is correct, I'm going to advise you to read Exodus chapter 28, because you have to understand the priestly garment, the ephod that he created was only made for the sons of Aaron. Matter of fact, the high priest is the only one to wear that. This is the kingdom of Israel at this time. So, as an individual among these camps and the grounds, the allotment, none of them are supposed to be priests. Only Aaron's bloodline are supposed to be priests. Um, so someone from Judah cannot make themselves priests. No one can make themselves or their sons priests at this time, because there's only one king priest that's coming, and that's the Messiah. So they can't just create a house of gods in their homes and make people priests or anything like that. Because why? One, the tabernacle is still around. The Levites are still around. They are assigned as priests, at least Aaron's bloodline. So anyone you appoint themselves as a priest, and then you think you're gonna go through the tabernacle, that's not gonna happen because you're supposed to be put to death. You find that in Numbers chapter 3, verse 30. So all of this is going on. So the people are technically know of the Torah because they're making these things, but they're not following it. You got these people. So when I read about Micah, it reminded me of Korah. And again, the foundation is in Numbers chapter 16. So Korah was from the tribe of Levi, but he wasn't from the bloodline of Aaron, and he wanted that priestly bloodline. So he confronted Moses and Aaron, actually. No, yeah, Moses and Aaron in number 16. He confronts them because he felt like, Moses called Aaron to be the priestly bloodline, but that came the instructions from Yehovah. And so he wanted to take that. And as you know, Korah is the one who stood up against Moses and Aaron, and the ground opened up and swallowed them. Most people don't know that happened because he wanted to steal the priestly bloodline. He wanted it for himself. So this is why we get this foundation of the Torah. Once again, this is why that is important. Verse 7. And there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there. And the man departed out of the city from Bethlehem, Judah, to sojourn where he could find a place. And he came to Mount Ephraim, or Ephraim for some, to the house of Micah as he journeyed. Now, I do get that he's a Levite, but what I don't know is whether he's what branch of a Levite that he came from. So it sounds like he was a Levite who resided among the clan or the tribe of Judah in Bethlehem. But I don't know which bloodline is he from. It doesn't give me that information. So Is he a priest or is he just from the tribe of the Levites? And he left from the city from Judah, and he's looking for a place to live. The reason why I question some of this is because whether he's from the bloodline of Aaron, or because remember, there are four different divisions of the Levites. You have the Kohath, you have the Gershons, and you have the Merarites, and you have Aaron's bloodline, which is the priesthood. All the other three were a part of the work of the tabernacle, but they were not of the priesthood. So he was traveling, this young person was traveling, but he was, some reason, he was among the tribe of Judah. Now, we do know that the Levites themselves did not get any plot allotment of land, but they got cities and towns where they were lived in. And so if you read Joshua 21, there is no land city for the Levites in the tribe among the in Bethlehem, I should say, in Bethlehem. Now you can go take a look at that in Joshua 21. If you find it, let me know, because I do know there's a Beth. Remember, there's a lot of cities called Beth, but there's probably other Bethlehems, but in Judah there's only one Bethlehem. Now, again, if you find this, just let me know. So I had to go into the foundation, try to figure out who is this person. And it's possible he's from the priesthood, but it doesn't give us that information. But he was some reason floating around. Judges chapter 17, verse number 9. And Micah said unto him, where comest thou? And he said unto him, I am a Levite of Bethlehem of Judah, and I go to sojourn where I can find a place. Again, he's looking for somewhere to go. And as you was noticing for Micah himself, that Micah was creating his own God. He was had his own priests. He had all this going on, a shrine and all in his own house, which means that Micah himself and his family was not offering offerings like they were supposed to. Were they even going up to Shiloh like they were supposed to the tabernacle? There's 3 times a year they supposed to go there. If Micah is doing this, who else is doing this? Which means that the offerings of Yehovah are not happening like it should, or as often as much as it should be happening. Even if you're recognizing now that Micah's not doing it. So we don't know how many people of Yehovah among the tribes that were doing the same thing that Micah was doing. So maybe he is from Aaron the priestly bloodline and not able to get the provision that was assigned to them by the people. So this is why you have to understand the Torah about the provision for the Levites. And Micah said unto him, dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give thee 10 shekels of silver by the year, and a suit of apparel, and thou victuals. So Levite went in, and the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man was unto him as one of his sons. Remember, he's supposed to be a father to him, but he's more like a son to him. And Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest and was in the house of Micah. And then said Micah, now I know that Jehovah will be good, will do me good. Is that King James? I want to read that again, verse 13. Then said Micah, now know I that Jehovah will do me good, seeing I have a Levite to my priest. For some reason, Micah believed that he's going to be blessed because he has a hired priests in his household. And he consecrated him. Nothing that Micah can do on his own. All of this is out of the order of Yehovah. But Micah believed what he's doing is right according to his own way. He really believed that he is going to be blessed because he has a Levite, that he has a Levite, possibly priest in his home. But again, this is a hired priest. You cannot hire a priest. You cannot do this because the priests are hired to the work of Yehovah. Their work is only to Yehovah and not to be individually hired by the people. The priest has a lot of work at the tabernacle. They have a lot of work just serving Yehovah, keeping up with everything that they are supposed to do. Even the other branches of the Levites had a lot of work to do, the cleaning and all the things that they had to do alone in the tabernacle. The day that the priests work for people and be hired by them is the day that they are out of line with Yehovah. People change. They're never the same. Mankind cannot be consistent, but Jehovah is. Even his instructions is timeless. And this is what denomination and non-denomination religious systems need to understand. The Torah is timeless. Matter of fact, what did Messiah say? That not a dot or a tittle of the law, the prophets, and the writings won't pass away till this earth and heaven pass away because it's timeless. It is really rooted into this earth. That Torah, those instructions, everything that happened from Genesis chapter 1 on is embedded into this earth and this heaven. This is why all this will pass away and things will be different. And I don't know if people understand that or not, but the Torah is timeless. And we have to follow all that we can when we can, even when you are in exile. It's still follow what you can when you can. You'll find that in Deuteronomy 30. So I don't see any questions. I don't see any additional comments that I need to address on today. But that does not mean that you're unable to send those during the replay. I most definitely will address those as they come in. I'm hoping that you enjoying this journey through the book of Judges. We only have 4 chapters left, and then we're jumping right into the book of Ruth. Don't forget to join me tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. for the 8th day teaching, and on Tuesday again at 7 o'clock p.m. for the Torah studies. I have been enjoying continually studying the Word of Jehovah and sharing that biblical content with you. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave and that bell. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May He shine His face on you and give you His favor. May He shine His face towards you and give you His peace, all in the mighty name of Yeshua. May Jehovah bless you, and I will see you on tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. Thank you.